Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Taking Back Comedy. I'm your host, with the most, Justin JJ Russell. If you're wondering where the JJ comes from, it's an old nickname from high school. Don't question it, or I will sodomize you with soldering iron. Ha ha! Just kidding. Let's get this show on the road. I figured I would talk about this topic now since this is the topic that I really wanted to discuss after the whole pandemic thing and uh, the other stuff that I was talking about, politics and pandemic and religion. You get that shit out of the way first. I haven't talked about religion yet, so we'll just move on to the topic that I wanted to discuss after the pandemic, which is comedy. That's right, comedy as a whole, which means this is going to be probably the funniest one that I do for Taking Back Comedy. Last episodes was not that funny. It's just recounting a lot of experiences. And I do apologize for that. I did promise you I was going to bring back the comedy. And in order to ensure that, I have been drinking Mountain Dew so that way I can be funnier. Because I'm funny without it, but if I have to really think of a subject off the top of my brain sometimes and just be confined to one subject without the need to go off script, then yeah, I have a tendency of getting less funny. And I can't make humorous predictions about paranormal activity kind of stuff. It's just one of those things that I'm more serious about than I am comedically engaged with. But enough about that. It's time that we name this episode what it truly is. When did jokes stop becoming jokes? But the true title of this is probably going to be something along the lines of when did jokes become hate speech? So let me step right back into character. And I gotta ask something to you guys. When did jokes become dangerous? When was it such a bad thing to look at somebody and say, hey, guess what? Knock, knock. How did that become such a bad thing? In the old years, whenever I was growing up, you told a knock, knock joke. You told a dry humor joke. You told a joke about your wife. You told a joke about minorities. You told a joke about gay people. You told a joke about pretty much anything, and people go, ha ha, that was pretty funny. Not always, but it can be pretty funny. Nowadays, you say one joke, and you're going straight to fucking prison. Case in point, you say knock knock, it doesn't go like how it used to. This is how it actually plays out nowadays. Oh, hello there, ma'am. How are you doing today? I'm doing fine. I got a joke for you. Okay. Knock, knock. Did you just assume my gender? Cops, arrest this fucker. He's saying mean shit about females over here. I think he even called a black person the N-word. I didn't say the N-word. He called me a nigger. Yeah, it's ridiculous because now we've gotten to a point where you can't say certain things. That's not the America I grew up in. The America I grew up in, you can make jokes about everything. And I mean everything. Okay? Some of my favorite comedians of all time were the dry humor ones that took tragedies and turned them into hilarity. Comedians such as Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Richard Jeni, Louis Black, Christopher Titus, and even Robin Williams and Bill Burr are some of my favorites. I used to like Bill Cosby. Then I woke up in a strange place one day. I could have swore I had ate some weird food. Turns out I had just been slipped with some kind of pudding cup. I didn't know what it was about. Yeah, that joke would probably offend some people today. Which is kind of ironic because the people that get offended by that joke are also the same people that wanted to take Cosby down. Despite the fact that he had people taking him down that were compulsive liars and drug addicts, okay? Something doesn't add up there with Cosby. Something doesn't add up there. Now, personally, if he did do it, then yes, he belongs in prison where he's at now. If he didn't do it, then he didn't do it, okay? But here's the difference between Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. Bill Cosby had people that were going against him that were compulsive liars and drug addicts. Not the most trustworthy of all people. R. Kelly had people that were young and had a lot of things going for them that were different. Plus, he had actual proof to go inside with this abuse that he was enacting, the harem for one, and him peeing on little girls. And he has the gall and the nerve to get up on TV and state, "I fight for my life, man. You don't even know what it means to be a black man in this country." I'm pretty sure Bill Cosby does. No, it's ridiculous. It is. Absolutely. And the, the funny thing of this whole situation is this. R. Kelly has people backing him. Okay, years ago we had Michael Jackson doing the horrific things that he was doing. Okay, there's probably proof out there. A lot of people have been trying to cover it up because he's another black man, but come on, clearly he did a lot of stuff that he shouldn't have. He's fucked up in the head. Okay, clearly he did. But people supporting Michael Jackson, people supporting Jesse Smollett, and people supporting R. Kelly. But yet people are not supporting Bill Cosby. Doesn't make sense to me, honestly. Again, though, this isn't the major topic. The topic that we're discussing is comedy. When did comedy start to die? Well, I would say comedy started to die right around the turn into the year 2008. When Barack Obama was elected president, most people jumped for joy. Not because we got a Democrat for president, it's mostly because a lot of us voted him in, and if they say otherwise, they're liars. But a lot of us voted him in because he was a black man. A lot of us didn't care about his policies. None of us really paid attention to his policies, and the black community as a whole that I grew up in definitely didn't. We all voted him in because he was a fucking black man. Okay? We did. We did. We did. And a lot of us, well, okay, not a lot of us, a lot of them ended up doing it to atone for the sins of slavery, and they felt like this was the best way of handling it, which breeds a lot of evil coming out from that. And the people in my state, Illinois, have a tendency to do a lot of things like voting Democrats in that happen to be from our state. Yay! When we have a governor come in, it's usually a Democrat. If we get a Republican governor, it's usually one that only lasts for like 2, 3 years, and then we find a way to get rid of him. But this, again, is not politics. We ended up bringing Obama in as president. We ended up bringing in a lot of situations that we should have seen coming. That's when it became the beginning of the end, I would say, because things were now being told that that's not funny. You can't make fun of people like that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, you know what I say to that? I make fun of fat chicks. I make fun of skinny chicks. I make fun of fat guys. I make fun of skinny guys. I make fun of muscly dudes. I make fun of jocks, cheerleaders, blacks, whites, Mexicans, cripples, retards, all sorts of different stuff. I make fun of everyone, okay? And I don't mean retard as in mentally handicapped people. No. But I make fun of them too. I make fun of people with heart disease. I make fun of people who have AIDS. I make fun of people with pretty much everything because honestly, fuck you if you think that you have the right to tell me that that's illegal. Okay? You may not like my sense of humor, you may not like my jokes, but let's be fair. I have a goddamn right as an American to say them. And if you got a problem with that, you're not a fucking American then. And that means you need to find the nearest bus that's going to take you straight to Canada so you can become a faggot like the rest. okay? Because we had this boiling up in our country that it didn't matter who was going to get voted in 2016, I feel, whether it was Hillary or Trump. Hillary probably would have been the one that seen it the less, but it was still bound to happen. Nobody wanted a white person in office, for one. We had just voted a black person in office, and we felt, okay, now we're going to get a Mexican, or we're going to have something else. The difference between the reason why it worked out the way it did was the only reason people were backing Hillary is because, look, she's a female. We need to get an ovary in the office. And that's not true. Women are going to ruin this country. And I don't mean that as a personal attack to females, okay? Ladies, actual ladies out there, because I got a lot of lady friends, they are not women. They're the cool people that are actually level-headed, smart, intelligent, and can actually think for themselves. Women are the idiots that think that they are owed stuff and believe feminism is not cancer and it should have everything that it wants. Okay? And let's look at all the women governors we have right now. Okay? Or women senators. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, uh, the Michigan governor, etc., etc. You know, Tippy Gore. Okay, why should I keep going? They're all insipid slags who tried to censor people. Tippy Gore tried to censor video games. Tippy Gore tried to censor music. Tippy Gore tried to censor a lot of different stuff. Okay? There was a lot of female politicians going against porn. There was a lot of female politicians going against video games. In fact, Hillary Clinton's one of the biggest proponents of that. And then now we have, although I can't say Brianna Wu, he's a guy. So, yeah. But Anita Sarkeesian, Zoe Quinn, they're all cunts who act like they like video games, but in actuality, what they're telling you is, I'm a faggot and I'm proud. And that bugs me philosophically speaking, because what it shows to me is a lack of support on the end of these people. Okay? These people don't care about anybody else but themselves. And they're fooling the massive amount of retarded idiots that we have in this country. Yep, it's sad to say that the country may be getting into a point where saying a knock-knock joke leads you into jail. I mean, for fuck's sake, we already have a person in Scotland who got arrested for making his dog raise its paw. Yeah, for those of you who didn't hear that, the YouTuber Count Dankula, which I will not put his picture up on here, just look him up, he's on YouTube, is a Scottish YouTuber who was arrested and sent, sent to court for a hate crime. What was this dastardly thing that Count Dankula did? He pulled a prank on his girlfriend by making his pug dog raise its paw and do the doggy equivalency of a Hitler salute after he said Sieg Heil. I don't know about you, but that's got to be the funniest thing I've heard in a while. If you don't find that funny, you have no joy in your life. Who doesn't? Who can find offense in that? It's a cute little dog raising its paw to stuff, okay? I get it. Sieg Heil, I understand the quotations where you're getting to the point where it's like, but that's fucking offensive. No shit, it's offensive. It's supposed to be offensive. But it's too cute to be like, oh, that's so adorable. You can't look at that and go, oh, that's fucking illegal. You need to go to prison. You can't do that. You can't look at a dog and then think automatically the owner needs to go to jail for doing this insidious thing. I mean, you don't see people up in arms over stuff that that in movies that should matter. In fact, they glorify stuff that is not good for you. Case in point, every comic book fan in America knows about the horrendous relationship that Joker and Harley Quinn have in the comics, right? For those of you who are playing the home game, allow me to e- reiterate. There we go. Couldn't get the word out. I'm sorry. Allow me to reiterate. Joker and Harley Quinn's relationship in the comics, which was first started in the 1992 Batman animated series, was Harley Quinn was a doctor, psychologist. She was a therapist named Dr. Harleen Quinzel, okay? And her patient just so happened to be the clown prince of crime himself, the Joker. And in the cartoon, as well as the comics, Joker and Harley see each other enough that eventually Harleen does not become Harleen anymore, grows an infatuation to the Joker, and ends up becoming Harley Quinn, a sidekick of sorts and a love interest to the Joker. And what that leads to is her getting involved with crime and becoming a Batman villain, and mentally insane as well. No, not nearly as insane as Joker and some of the other villains, but she does have moments where it's like, well, obviously she has problems with that was underlying, and we don't really know the reason for that, but I like a good mystery. I like a good mystery on that front. But the kicker is, Harley and Joker's relationship is very volatile. Joker abuses the shit out of her. And the thing of it is Joker does not give a shit whether she lives or dies, as long as it doesn't interfere with what he's doing. Either it's creating chaos, doing a scheme to piss off Batman, getting in the way of Batman, having a best friend's beat down with Batman, which is something I really want to see is him imagining just a day of like getting beaten up by Batman with a big ass smile on his face. I definitely want to see that now. But that's what he thinks of is I don't give a shit about anybody else but myself and chaotic fucking anarchy because I am a crazy motherfucker. Harley loves the man purely because of this, and what it's done is it's led to him whenever she does stuff that she thinks is for him, but somehow gets in his way, ends up with her getting abused physically and mentally by this insipid monster of a criminal that we all enjoy because of his criminal antics, because he's the villain that we love to hate. You know? And yet, despite this horrific situation, we don't take it into the same situations that it would be with Chris Brown and Rihanna or Ike and Tina Turner. No, a lot of us have glorified this insipid relationship to the point of everyone on Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, it wouldn't matter. There's a lot of people in the social media sphere, my age and younger, that's like, I want a relationship that's just like Joker and Harley. And all I can think of is, you want a relationship where your man beats the holy piss out of you, degrades you, calls you an insipid whore, that you don't matter to him, and would willingly drop you at the first sign of trouble as long as it saves his ass? Wow, you must have daddy issues of the highest accord. That is a sad situation that we've come to this point. But no, 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 no. It's okay to do that, but don't make a joke. Oh God, no. Can't make a joke about domestic violence. I can't get up on stage and say, so my wife was beating the shit out of me one day. Oh, you can't say that. Women don't abuse men. Okay. So I was in bed one night and my wife looked at me and said, let's have sex. And I said, no, I don't feel it tonight. And then she strapped me to the bed and she started to, no, 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 you can't say that either. Well, why not? Women can't rape men. What the fuck, man? Are you saying that these things don't exist? Yep. Okay, well, can I make a rape joke? No. You can make a rape joke about men. I was doing that. Well, you can't make a rape joke. What do you mean I can't make a rape joke? If it's about men, you said it's okay. No, the rape jokes are not ever okay. Because men can't get raped, for one, and two, only women can get raped, and rape is not funny. Rape is an insipid, horrific, awful thing. Oh yeah? I know how to end this. And I'm going to take a line directly from George Carlin just to make you understand that rape can be funny. Imagine Porky Pig getting fucked in the ass, penetrated deep by Elmer fucking Fudd. That's a funny situation there. In fact, let me up the ante. Imagine a big fucking train ran on Porky Pig, and instead of it actually being a train, it's like a big gangbang session where three people take turns penetrating Porky Pig's ass, whether it's Elmer Fudd, Kermit the Frog, or Grover from Sesame Street. I find that quite hilarious, and I like to piss off anybody who disagrees with that notion. It's people like that bug the shit out of me. They really do, because I'm a guy who suffers from severe depression with psychosis. And I still find the time to make fun of myself in my diagnosis. Okay? There's been several times where if somebody said something I disagreed with, I would come up with the most ridiculous thing to say that happened to be the equivalency of saying I want to kill myself, but in a more elaborate way. Like, I want to take this whole bottle of cologne and just down it right here and now. You make me want to rip my intestines out, strangle myself with my intestines, and out of my last breath, the only thing that I can say is Rosebud. You know? Or I would like to jump off a cliff and land feet first on the end of jumping off that cliff. But I won't die because I really want the fucking bones to go right through my brain. And after it goes right through my brain, the last thing I would like to think is how badly I would like to fuck Marilyn Monroe's corpse after I've dug it up out of her grave. As sick and twisted as those fantasies are, it can be still hilarious. And the reason for this is simple. Comedy was built on the concept of taking horrific things or taking a serious topic or a neutral topic or any topic and coming up with such a ridiculous connotation to go with it that you can't help but laugh at it. Like if I said that, like, this is an actual story that happened. Car bomber years ago locked the keys to his car bomb in his car bomb. There doesn't need to be a joke there, but all I could think of is, I wonder if he ever called AAA. Some of my favorite jokes also happen to be some of the most ridiculously awful jokes. I like telling these ones the most. My favorite ones were stuff like 9/11 jokes, which there's two of them that are my favorites. One of them actually offended one of my friends. I understand that it offends you, but I still find the humor in stuff like this. Okay, the first one is, what is Al Qaeda's favorite football team? The New York Jets. What is the last thing that went through the guy's mind when he jumped from the World Trade Center? His knees. Okay, stuff like that is funny. But then there's also stuff that would make you think a little bit. One of my favorite old-time comedians from the older era of comedy, who was a part of the Dean Martin roasts, he did a lot of them, was Red Buttons. And Red Buttons used to do a joke where it's like, never got a dinner. And he would do that for whatever the person that they were roasting, he would make fun of stuff. And whenever he was doing the roast for Muhammad Ali, he did a series of jokes for the never got a dinner thing, and one of the funniest ones that he uttered on that one, which made everyone laugh, even people like Wilt Chamberlain was laughing their asses off. I've seen Orson Welles nearly fucking blow up, and he was already blown up because he was huge as fuck, but like, he nearly busted a gut. Literally, he nearly busted his guts right off on the fucking table. He's that fat. But he looked at them and he's like, when Uncle Remus looked at Uncle Ben and said, you're a credit to your rice. Now that's a funny joke. It's a joke that makes you think, but it's a funny joke. And it's because of those that I've came up with a few of my own, and I will be more than willing to tell you some. Okay? When Abraham Lincoln looked at his wife Mary Todd while they were in Ford Theater, gazing on the show, he looked over and he looked at Mary Todd and he said, "This is the worst experience I've ever had at the theater, ever." When Dracula looked at Van Helsing at the dinner party and he said, "Did you spike my water?" When Victor Frankenstein looked at Igor, he was trying to finish up assembling the monster, and he looked at Igor and he said, "I think we're running out of parts." When Charles Lindbergh talked to the press after the baby he had with his wife was kidnapped, and he said, "Go ahead and keep him. I can make another." I like making jokes that make you think. I like making jokes that are offensive. I like making dry humor jokes. I like making jokes about my past histories. I like making jokes about all sorts of different stuff. I like old jokes. I like new jokes. I like dad jokes. I like corny jokes. I like puns. Yes, I do like puns. Depending on the pun, I like them. I like all sorts of different jokes. Doesn't matter. I'm a fan of comedy. Comedy should be here. It should never go away. How can you destroy comedy when it's something that we all need at this deathly time and hour? We definitely need comedy. We need people like Richard Pryor and George Carlin that makes you laugh, but also makes you think, that makes you take the horrific things that they've done to themselves or had happen to them and just laugh it off. Where is that? How are we, as a society that's supposed to be the height, the highest acclimated form in the world, we're the pinnacle, basically. How are we supposed to claim ourselves as the pinnacle of intellect in this world when we're offended by stuff that is supposed to make you laugh, that is not actual harm? It's not hate speech. It's not actual anything bad. How have we gotten to this point where we can't even laugh at stuff like this? It it makes you question things. And it sucks because people nowadays can't even say stuff that they believe in anymore without the hate mob chasing after them. It's like that scene in the Simpsons movie where you say the wrong thing and then you get this huge mob of people going in the opposite direction trying to find you to burn your house down. But the only way that they find you is because you fuck up and say something again that catches their attention. Literally, that scene from The Simpsons, it's 100% the real thing. And I will actually put it in here because that is the legit reason as to what we're dealing with right now. In fact, go ahead and wait. I'm going to put it in there.
Don't worry, nobody watches this stupid show. What's that ominous glow in the distance? Guys, look! Those idiots don't even know where we live!
It saddens me because I remember growing up and watching this stuff, laughing at the sex jokes, laughing at Joan Rivers, another one of my favorite comedians, laughing at all these jokes that are so ridiculous that you can't help but laugh at them. You know, that's where I get a lot of my comedy from. I like to get up on stage and just rip. You know, I like to get up on stage and I just like to let loose. I like to make people think. I like to make people understand the shit that's gonna happen that may happen or may not. I like for people just to have a good time, to get off with a huge thing. Let all ambitions that you once had go. Laugh at things. Do yourself that favor. Give yourself that moment of breathing room and laugh and let sweat off and sweat the small stuff. Stop getting mad. Stop getting mad at jokes, people. Because if we get to a point where I can't even, we've already gotten to the point where people can not go up to a woman and say hi without the fear of getting sexually assault charges dropped on them. If you're a guy, that is. Especially if you're a black man or a white man. Both of those two races, 100%. You're going to get slapped for shit like that. Especially, because if you're straight. So just cut back, let loose, and allow me to riff for you real quick to end this podcast, to end this episode with. Okay? Humor is the big, glorious God that we all need. It oversees everything. It's there when you're sad. It's there when you're happy. It's there when you're fearful and you need a release. What's humor going to do? It doesn't talk back to you. That's the God that doesn't make you look bad for doing something that he didn't agree with. It's the God that doesn't care that you shot up your dog because he pissed on your carpet. The police may have a problem with you doing that, but Humor the God does not. Humor the God is nothing more than a clown bear. He's a gigantic bear deity with clown makeup on who wears a pirate hat. I'm not talking like Jack Sparrow pirate hat. No, he wears an actual pirate hat, the one that has the skull and crossbones on it. He's got the clown makeup on, the red nose. His pants look like they came directly from Ronald McDonald's closet. One hand, he holds the Bible of humor. The other hand, a semi-automatic 12 gauge. Oh, I'm sorry, that's on his shoulders because he's always strapped like a good Samaritan. In his right hand, he holds a pimp cup because he's got to keep that hand strong, so he has to remind him how strong he needs to be. His justice is swift and it's fair because if you do something bad, he laughs it off. We all laugh it off. He's what gives us the reasons to live. When you do something stupid, when you do something bad, when you do something good, he's off on his little magical cloud, riding down from the heavens on his unicycle to give you everything that you have ever wanted and needed. He doesn't look at you badly when you start slapping your wife because she failed to turn the oven off and set the whole kitchen on fire. He doesn't look at you badly when you shove a dildo up your ass because you need to get your rocks off somehow. He doesn't look at you bad because your wife is pointing and laughing at your dick inside a French tickler because it's so tiny that it couldn't even tickle her. He doesn't look at you strangely when you said that you were arrested for jaywalking an emu. He doesn't look at you odd for stating that you won an Olympic medal for jerking off onto Betty White. He doesn't look at you weird either for threatening to punch Kathy Griffin in the hoo-ha because that's the only time she'll ever get her rocks off. Humor the God is a God that we can all agree on. Because he doesn't play favorites. He doesn't have his favorite son trying to watch over you and make you think that you're doing wrong because he's holier than thou. Or have a magic bird that shits on you no matter what you do if it's wrong. He doesn't get married to 14-year-olds and start stoning the gays because it doesn't agree with his magical little book. He doesn't believe in reincarnation because the magical sea serpent told him, yes, it's true. He doesn't look at you and state that you're wrong for believing that your God is so vicious that he would kill you and even force you to sacrifice your own son, but then tell you, haha, just kidding. He doesn't look at you weird for not wanting to eat ham. He doesn't look at you weird for claiming that you're a vegan, because obviously you have to tell people you're a vegan, otherwise how in the fuck are people going to know you're a vegan? He doesn't look at you weird when you start mowing your neighbor's face off. He doesn't claim that you're wrong or that you're hated because you used to deep dick fucking hot dog carts. And he damn sure doesn't look at you odd for stating that if Kirk Douglas was still alive, you'd beat the holy piss out of him just for the sake of him being way too old for his own goddamn good. R.I.P. Kirk. R.I.P. You may be gone and dead, but I'm still going to make fun of you, you old wrinkly dirty bastard. Why'd you have to go? Why'd you have to go, Kirk? I loved making fun of you. You're taking away my joys. And he doesn't make fun of you for stating that while your kids were away on vacation, that you had no choice but to jerk off the Dory from Finding Nemo. Humor the God is a God that we can all agree on, because Humor the God is a God that we all want, is a God that we all need. He's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. He's Humor the Hitman the God. Humor Bear for 2020. I'm sorry. Scratch that. I still want Trump to win. Humor for 2024. We need humor in the White House. And I mean actual humor. Trump is very serious about his job. We need humor in our churches. Especially the ones where they start talking to snakes in their own gibberish made up language of We need humor in our supermarkets when fuckers are getting told to put on face masks despite the fact that they don't work and are fucking destroying your breathing. We need humor in the Target. We need humor in the gun range. We need humor everywhere. We need humor in our media, because goddamn it, our media is just really trying to make you fearful that the end of the world is approaching. And it could very well be that the end of the world may be approaching, but not because of what we're doing. It's because the mass media is really wanting it to be sped up. I swear to God, they're at the end of the fucking runway and they're just holding up people going, yeah, you go through it, come on, let's get to it, hurry up, we gotta get to Armageddon, goddammit, we really need to get to it, we gotta speed it up, alright, are you all ready, let's go. Humor the bear, Humor the God, Humor Bear. He's a grizzly that cares. He's the one out of 1,000,001 who's always there for you. He's there for you. He's there for you. He's there for you. And you, and you, and you, and you. He's even there for the midget that deep-dicked your wife because you couldn't fathom it and bet her that she couldn't find a midget to fuck. Humor the Bear was there. Humor the Bear was there for everything. Humor the Bear was there when you fucked up your game of Earthbound and had to restart it. Humor found the humor in that. He did. Humor doesn't even spell his name as Humor. You know how he spells it? Hewmor. He's humor. He's here. He's never going away. And you're going to have to deal with it. Feel the fury of humor. And he'll be there in Compton. He'll be there in Baltimore. He'll be there in Ferguson. He'll be there in Sydney, Australia, in London, England, in motherfucking Beijing, China, in Shanghai. Everywhere you look, Humor will be there. And he damn sure will be there in Minneapolis, Minnesota, when the police are taking off the streets for justice. And the justice will be served because Humor the Bear will be there sitting on my couch watching it unfold while we eat popcorn, laughing our asses off at how chaotic the city is and how the government is fucked up royally to the point where people are leaving. You know why? Because Humor the Bear cares, and so do I. You all take care now. Have a nice night.